everybody? Thank you for tuning in to the iGame. I'm still talking about AI. Brother Derek is still talking about faith, family, life, fitness, how to live life with purpose and meaning, and how to get the most out of our existence. Because we're all searching for significance, and we're all searching for purpose, and we all want to be fulfilled. That fulfillment brings contentment. Being happy, living with your emotions, that's always temporary. So many of us are searching for something with a deeper meaning. And I'm still continuing with AI because AI is altering how we live, how we think, how we feel. It's altering our connections, our human connections. And AI is altering traditions and institutions. It's affecting everything, how we communicate, how we live, how we move, how we breathe, how we define our lives. These computers are changing the definition of humanity. But there's one piece at a time we're going to talk about each element. So this time, I'm going to talk about trust. In the Bible, Proverbs chapter 3 said, trust in the Lord. Let me pull it up real quick. It says, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge God, and he will direct your path. We're supposed to be trusting God. We're supposed to be loving each other. And we're supposed to be doing what God expects us to do and living in harmony with God. What this new world has done with technology is we're living in harmony with computers, and people are taking second place. And we pretend that's not true, but it really is. Because people will leave their house without their loved ones. They'll leave their house without money. You'll leave your house without your Bible. You'll leave your house without your uniform. You will leave everything at home. But that cell phone will be right there in your hand. Like, I got my phone in my hand right now. So I've been trained to use it too. And I need to learn how to go back to a simpler life. Because it was easier without the phone. Less anxiety, less fear. Just moving with God and moving with other people. And we took care of each other and God took care of us. But the Bible said, trust in the Lord with all your heart. And nowhere in the Bible did it tell you to trust people. And people are the ones who actually programmed AI. People are the ones who actually programmed the computers. So we're trusting computers and ignoring people, but people are the ones that built the computer. So that's the irony of it all. But we're going to talk about trust. And matter of fact, what's more important? Do you still trust yourself? If you need your phone for everything, do you trust yourself? Do you trust yourself to make the right decisions? Do you trust yourself not to make the wrong decisions? Because, both are true. But do you trust yourself? Can you make a decision without Googling the answer first? Can you leave your house and get to your job without GPS? I know people that can't do that. I know people that can't read a map. I know people, they can't even tell you how they got from point A to point B. They just plug the address in their phone. And the phone said, drive 6 miles this way, turn at the second exit, stop at the stop sign, cross the railroad tracks. I know people that don't know how to get to their church, how to get to their job. They can't move without GPS. They can't trust themselves for directions. Why can't you trust yourself? Because your computer's thinking for you. Your computer's leading you. Your computer is guiding you. Your computer reroutes you even if you miss the turn, so you haven't learned the lesson. There are times when God is going to hurt your feelings to teach you a lesson. But because we trust computers and we don't trust God and we don't trust ourselves, every time you have an emotion you didn't ask for, you think there's something wrong, and you look it up in the computer, and you go to Mayo Clinic or Dr. WebMD, and it says, oh, you're depressed. Go take these 6 pills. Go tell your doctor you have this such a disorder. Ladies and gentlemen, these disorders are not disorders. Sometimes God will make you feel uncomfortable to teach you a lesson because what you're doing might be wrong. How you're living might be wrong. And instead of using your emotions as a sign, you use it as a guide and the directions, and you run and take medication to kill that feeling. Trusting WebMD, trusting the Mayo Clinic, trusting Google. Sometimes God will alter your feelings to teach you a lesson. You should be depressed. You're not a good person. You should feel shame. You're making bad decisions. You should feel guilty. You're living out of order. Your emotions are signs. They're not directions. They're not guides. It's just a sign. The sign doesn't tell you where to go. It just gives you an implication. It gives you a unction. The directions is where you're supposed to be going. And then according to the Bible, God gives us the right directions. So sometimes you should feel bad because you're living bad. You can't take a pill to feel good about what you're doing if what you're doing is wrong. Once again, you're not trusting God. And truth be told, if you trusted yourself, that means you're in tune with God because you know he's sending you in the right way. But the attack is on trust, period. When the computer starts thinking for you, now you're trusting the computer. And what's dangerous about that is because if the wrong person sends the wrong prompt through the computer, you're going to make a terrible choice. And now your life's out of order. It's kind of like this new thing on the computer that tells you salt is unhealthy, but sugar's okay. No, sugar is what's killing us. Salt is good. We need more salt and less sugar. But if you look it up online, it's going to tell you that salt's bad. No, salt gives you energy. But I ain't got time to get into that one. That could be a whole 8-hour debate itself. But emotions and traditions. Listening to the computer, if you hate Christmas, you can find 100 websites that tell you what's wrong with Christmas. If you love Christmas, you can look at 100 websites that tell you to love Christmas. So not knowing what's right from wrong because you're not listening to God, you're going to let a computer agree with your emotions. You're going to let a computer agree with whatever your bias is. Because you can go on the internet and find anything to support anything. Everything's okay. It just depends on which website you're looking at. So how do you know who to trust? How do you know what's right or wrong? Trust God. Proverbs chapter 3, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. Because if you left it up to yourself, you will become a God. And that would be dangerous because think about all the bad decisions you've made right now with no power. How much damage would you cause if you were a God, for real? Look at how much damage we cause now with very little money and very little knowledge. With very little power, look at how your small decisions change the entire world. Just look at this divorce rate. Millions of people are affected because one family broke up. The next family breaks up. Then the next families break up. And if you look at what's going on in Durham, North Carolina, they don't even have a school system because of a lot of unruly kids coming from broken homes. They're terrorizing the schools. And because of crime, there's a low tax base. Because there's a low tax base, the teachers are making minimum wage. And the teachers are quitting because they're making minimum wage dealing with unruly kids because they come from broken homes. That's what happens when trust is violated. The homes fall apart. The homes fall apart, there's poverty. Poverty affects the government funding. Government funding affects the public schools. It's all connected because there's no trust. And why do I blame this on computers? Because people don't treat each other right because we're disconnected. Because you got computers telling you what to think, what to feel. And then you spend more time with the computer than you spend with the other person. So now your capacity to love and trust your spouse is low because all your emotions and your mind is into a computer. Smartphone, social media. And some people are still watching porn. I never understood that. I never got into that, but it's just another vice that violates trust. And I'm gonna talk about love later, but porn affects the way you love your spouse. So it's all connected. There's a lack of trust because we kick God out and we trusted computers and we trusted the media, and sometimes you don't even trust people. And the end result, when you're disconnected from God, you can't even trust yourself. And everybody suffers. So we have to fix this. Learn to trust God, the Bible. Trust God with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. You can't trust yourself if you're committed to God. But if not, trust God. We have to get back to God, not these computers. AI is affecting our trust. We need to fix it. Peace.